Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my Let's Play World of Tanks. And yeah, I figured I'd cover some pretty interesting battles here. I saved them for a reason, but they've been, how do you want to word it? I've had them back in the queue for a while, just haven't gotten around to them, so I kind of don't even remember what happened in these. But I kind of have decided, hey, why not show them off? And I kind of looked at the spoiler, or the results of the battle, so I know what's gonna happen. But needless to say, I saved them for a good reason. Anyway, so trying to take advantage of VK4502P is you have to really upgrade the gun to make it really menacing and deadly, and that's exactly what I've done. Finally I was able to upgrade the gun. I think I might have covered that the last time, but I've not really done anything spectacular with it since then. But I've done a heck of a lot more damage, and obviously damage is kind of the name of the game. If you're not doing damage, then you're not really helping out your team. So you need to really prioritize your targets, do the best you can. If you know you can't tackle a target, you need to move on to a different target instead of sitting there wasting your shots. And you need to also make sure that you're in a position where you can be of help to your team, because obviously if you're a tank that really can't, damage a bunch of tier 10s in a tier 10 battle, and you're in a flank that has nothing but the tier 10s facing you, then why would you bother to stay there? You need to get out, move on, and find somewhere else to help out, because you're just going to be throwing shells and plinking off them, not doing any damage. And also, the bad part about that is you're just not going to be able to help out the team who might need you in a different flank. So it's one thing I'm working on learning a little better, is I need to be a little bit more aggressive in the fact that I need to not go to the same place over and over and over. And if I see an opportunity to move, I need to get out of there and go somewhere else, especially if it's tanks I can't touch. Now, being the top tier tank in this battle certainly does make it a little bit easier. When you're the top tier tank, you do need to go where you're expecting to find the heaviest amount of foes, because you're gonna need to be there to be the anchor. If you're not the anchor to your force, then what good is it gonna be if you can't help them out, and you're just gonna sit there and take out, you take out two small tier targets? Who cares? You're not gonna be doing what you need to do, killing all the big stuff. So it's kind of a weighing out of, if you're a weaker tank, you need to go find a flank that you can help on, and if you're the biggest tank in the bunch, you need to go to where everyone is, so you can make sure that you're the one, for lack of better terms, and to throw in a MMO terminology here, you need to tank. So that's kind of what you need to end up doing, depending on what tank you end up being and where you need to go. Obviously, I'm here in the right position at the moment because there's a lot of heavy tier stuff up here. There's a lot of other tanks here in general, so I needed to definitely help out and make sure I killed everything that I can. And just in general, I have the best armor for this tier, so me being here is essential because I can help out, I can support people, just general stuff like that. I'm not, hanging out, just taking off a few easy kills out in like the field or something. I'm dealing with what I can over here. And of course, there's stuff starting to flank around me. Can't help with that too much, but hey, you do what you can. So, as you see here, I'm actually side-scraping the best that I can, lining up with this building, and then backpedaling off of it just to get the ability to shoot over my shoulder, only really exposing a very horrible angle of my side at the enemy, which is kind of what you have to do. And then you just kind of pop a shot every time you can, then drive right back into the safe area dead ahead, so that way they're either deflecting off your side because it's a terrible angle they're shooting at, it's getting absorbed into your tracks, or the alternative option is it's going to be just miss because you're not presenting that much of a profile for them to hit. So, a bunch of different reasons and areas as to why you should side scrape, how to side scrape properly, etc., etc. Am I not shooting the big gun on this thing? No, this thing does have the big gun. Okay, never mind. I have to look at the damage of what I was doing versus what I just saw. Oh no, that might not be the right amount of damage. Come on, let me see real quick. No, this is back when I had the weaker gun. Oh, hold on now. Yeah, because I've totally upgraded this thing since this battle. Oh, I was under the wrong impression here. So this is a little bit more difficult to do work with than what I thought. Yeah, so I actually, I've upgraded the gun since this battle, and it's made almost all the difference in the world, because, oh man, let me just say that, yeah, throwing around the 12.8 is a heck of a lot easier to hit people and damage people than it is to throw the 10.5 in this tank. running that tier 9, tier 10 gun. Well, it's technically a tier 9, I think. Or is it a tier 10? Either which way, the 10.5 just doesn't cut it all the time. I'm getting a little bit lucky here. The reload's a lot faster. That's kind of one major benefit, but needless to say, if I had the larger tank, it would be, or a larger gun, whole different story. A lot better of a punch to it, and you can kill a heck of a lot more people. Now, the 10.5 is nothing to shy away from. Obviously, it's not exactly the most optimal, but hey, who's to argue? Now, I deflect off the side of him. He did the kind of the converse of what I was trying to show. The side scrape was unintentional on his part, where he just got to the wrong angle, and my shot couldn't go through his side because of the angle he was at. Now, we do have to deal with the... I have 2 tanks here, 2 TDs that I have to look at. Now, this could potentially be a problem, because both of them, I don't have the damage to kill them both off, but at least I have the reload. So, the nice thing that's going to happen is if I get lucky here, being able to damage them just in the slightest where I need to. I know that taking that shot would be futile because it bounced right off him at the angle he was at. But if I could just hurry up, get a shot off just like that. Okay, now he is within single shot ability. So if I load in time, but I gotta wiggle myself there so that he deflects off me just like that. Now I can take my time, aim at him, and I can get to his side like that and take him out. So the nice thing with the German tank is if I wiggle it enough, sometimes I can deflect stuff, and that was a complete lucky bounce there. So I know I have a little bit of time before he's reloaded. I don't think that I was wiggling there. I don't want to say, yeah, he's a little mad that he bounced off me. I have this ISU to deal with here. I get him, so now it's just me and this 28. Now, with me against the 28, it's not going to be easy, especially with the 95 behind me. And the 95 is the one who gets me. I didn't have much option there, but hey, I was wiggling my tank the best I could. I got lucky with a bounce, and I was able to hold him off, but sadly the rest of the grouping wasn't around and available to help. So I'll speed it up here until we reach the end. Unless I just jumped to the wrong tank. Oops. Alright, let's speed it up. If we can figure out how to speed up. There we go. Alright, so 1 tank left. As you see, I kind of aired the thing out there when I was jumping around with the cuts. You can see all the dead tanks. But yeah, so the Bat Chat's the only thing left alive. He needs to run and go back to either he needs to cap or he needs to go and kill him. The guy is what? One-shottable for him? No, he's 900 hit points, there's no way. But if this guy just gets on cap, he'll easily out-cap him, and then he can worry about dealing with him in the first place. But instead, he decides to sit here. Why he decides to sit here is beyond me, because right here makes all the difference in the world. Without him getting on that cap, like that, already wasted the time. And now he's over 5 ticks away. There's no way he can tie it up. So sadly, this one's going to end in a draw, or I mean a defeat rather, because he can't tie the draw. We'll just speed it up here a little bit as he's throwing shells over and over and over. But, man, that's such a shame what he did by just stopping there and not doing anything. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats for that one, and we'll move on. Some days you get lucky and some days you don't. This time I actually got mastery on a defeat with Top Gun and Sniper, so I must say that was actually pretty good. I just sadly had a teammate who didn't get on the cap when he should have, but hey, I mean, there might have been something running through his mind. He might have been thinking that, hey, maybe I shouldn't get on the cap just yet in case he's coming back around. Who knows what his situation was. I would have handled it differently, but hey, who knows? He had his own ideas there. Anyway, so getting a mastery with only a 10.5, that was actually pure luck, to be honest with you. It happens. And plus, bouncing that JP2 and the, what was it, the T28, man, those were luck shots that I was able to bounce them. I don't know how I did that. Probably just wiggling my little front end there so that they didn't have as good of a shot. It's a saving grace to do that. So I'm by no means going to turn down the fact that I got lucky there to do that. Anyway, so yeah, killing 6 people obviously to get the Top Gun and then mastery on top of it. And then I also got Sharpshooter. What else did I get? And Master Gunner with it too. So hey, it's not a bad match at all for a defeat. If that was a win, good grief, that would have been like 4,000 experience, give or take. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the team score. And yeah, dealing 3,500 damage, only shy of me was the Bat Chat dealing, what is that, 3,400 damage. So we were both like right on top of each other, but my experience was, geez, double anyone else on our team. Their 95 basically crushed everybody, dealing, what did he do? Like 4,500 damage. He was phenomenal apparently because he crushed absolutely everybody, including myself. He definitely got me. But hey, it is what it is. Still a great match. Sadly a defeat, but it is. You can't help it. You can't control the other 14 people. But as we look at it, 17 actual shots fired, and then 17 of them were hits. So not bad at all there. And then damage was what I already stated. I received 5,200 damage, deflecting, one more hit. If I survived, then I would have got steel wall too, but I would have had to survive, and that's kind of the tough thing. I don't think I would have been able to survive, but hey, I still got a courageous resistance, which is the bonus. Is it double experience? I think it might be double. I think it's if you get courageous resistance during when this was going on, you got the experience and credits as if you were to win if you deal over 3,000 damage. If you do like 3 kills, or is it Top Gun or something? Either which way. So I got lucky. What can I say? I got really, really lucky in the fact that I was able to just hold him off like that. So I mean, it just went to show you that the right tank in the right place made all the difference in the world. And of course, a little bit of luck does help too. But anyway, we'll go ahead and jump into the next battle, shall we? Alright, so as I was stating about, well, now I'm just kind of hanging out, apparently, for a little bit. Oh, there we go. Anyway, so, as I was stating about where to go, depending on what tank you are, what tier you are, etc., comes something, you got a little sweet spot when it comes to mediums. Mediums, in my opinion, well, more exclusively the Bat Chat than anything else, but the 54 also suits this purpose, is that a medium is kind of a quick response tank. It can go wherever it's needed, whenever it's needed, and do a lot of damage really quickly. So initially, at least with the Bat Chat, I like to hold back, but with the 54, I like to get in a good position early, very far in advance, so that I can tackle people as they're coming across, I can help assist the heavies, and I can help then flank around people who are focused on the heavies or anything else, and be able to get people from behind. And that's kind of a neat little niche that the smaller mediums can do, I'd say. It's I don't know. I just have always been fond of the mediums, so it kind of suits my purpose to be a little bit crazy when it comes to, what do you want to call it? How should I word this properly? Aggressiveness, which I keep saying is a terrible thing, but when it comes to being an aggressive player, you have to run a medium. You can't be an aggressive in pretty much any other tank. Now, dealing snapshots is one thing, being able to hit is another, but hey, I think the main thing with a medium is the fact that you're able to quickly respond, like I said. Like this 43, he came up there, I was able to respond quickly, come around and I bounce off him, of course, but it's the fact that I can see where things are. I can see that, hey, a flank over here needs help over there. I can run wherever I'm needed. I can go and assist people, get in behind people easier. With a heavy, you don't really have that option. If you're a heavy, you have to stick basically the route that you went, unless you feel like retreating back to base. Because that whole moving around to a completely different flank, you don't really have the speed for it unless you're a French heavy, but that's a different story. So with a medium, you can respond quickly. You can also be that little guy who's sitting there taking the side shots, who's weaving around where he's needed at the time. Like this, I'm able to back up. I'm able to start assisting back in the rear here if needed, because I noticed that this flank is pretty much covered by and large. So my main goal was to then just get down here, be able to just watch over stuff. I spotted this Tiger too, which was a huge spot because with him being out there in the middle, he actually was in position to start flanking people. And now that I'm directly behind him, and he's kind of stuck, for lack of better terms, I'm able to just lay into him with the Panther that's next to me. I think it's a Panther too. And then we're just able to wreck this guy just completely down because he was just in a bad position. We were responding somewhere else. So it also applies to this SU-100M. SU-100M1, is that just so happened to find him in the right place when we were just looking around, just looking for new targets instead of being, kind of hanging out there with the rest of the crew, because the rest of the crew pretty much had the location, or had it where they were at the moment. We didn't need to go and help them out at the time being. Can freely scout around, pick off what we needed to, and that's what I'm doing right now, so I'm just kind of freely playing, There's no real necessity to go anywhere at the moment. Of course, I will have to at some point in time, but at the moment I can sit here, try and take out the light targets in the middle, try and free up some more people like the right-hand side of the board, because they're about ready to be freed up to be able to rush the bridge and come around behind everybody. Whereas I was able to just help loosen that area up. We had kind of a standstill in the top portion there, so sitting there and just trading shots left and right, yeah, I might do, 300 damage here, 300 damage there, but I by no means would be doing any sort of effective rate of fire or anything, wouldn't be able to do any flanking maneuvers, nothing useful like that. Whereas now that I've cleared out some of the center, it can allow me access to get up here to get behind some of these tanks that are over there on that flank, and be able to deal with them this way. Just got to dodge this IS-6 who's just chilling right next to me. But if I was able to get up here, which I might be able to, I can then help out with this Foch, I could help out with the VK, and just all the difference in the world, but now being able to get to the side of these guys, being able to do some damage this way. So that Foch is out of my ability to hit. This IS is already firing, so I'm not too worried about him. But I have that IS-8 there that I need to worry about. And so if he's in a clear like that, I can start to lay into him from the side if I can only penetrate. And I'm providing a flank that is, like we have our tanks over there. They're kind of getting overwhelmed, which is, it's a bad thing, but not necessarily the end of the world. We do have a lot of people over there. But the simple ability for me to sit here at a 90-degree angle to our major flank makes a huge difference, because I'm able to lay down fire that they can't protect against. And so by doing so, I'm just opening up onto these guys, doing a lot more damage to help push our flank around. Now I just got to deal with an IS-6 who's not even looking at me. And as you see here, by being able to relocate like I did, whereas a heavy, you're kind of stuck in position, you got to deal with it. You kind of just have to go out head to head. With the medium, I have a little bit better ability to sit here. I can maneuver around, like I said, to the flank I was on. I can dish that way, and it seems like that we're pretty much able to wrap up everything around us in the places that they are. Now there's still two little tanks over there. That's all that's left to clean up. I was able to help open up that center. I was able to take down that IS-8 pretty far where he was, just standing there firing at him, and then being able to come through that center like that without having to fight all these guys head on allowed me to have so many more hit points, so many more opportunities to do stuff. And so with that, I'm going to be able to come up on this IS-8 no problems whatsoever and finish him off just like that. So just the ability to respond where I was needed to, respond to even my initiative, paid off in the long run. And as you can see there, mediums certainly have that ability, whereas heavies would have had to go headlong. Anyway, enough of me rambling about mindless stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of this thing and wrap it up. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, shall we? I got a pretty good experience there, 3,300 even, which was kind of fancy. And I got Lion of Sinai. Apparently I just got another set of IS series kills. I think it's, 100, or is it 100 or is it 20 IS? I don't remember. Either which way, ended up getting another one of those. So those are just kill over time sort of things. But overall, not a bad match at all. Dealing some pretty hefty damage to some select targets there. Not a whole lot of bunch of targets. Only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets actually damaged. But a lot of damage to those 5 targets. I think that was kind of the key thing there, is I was able to find and hunt down individual targets as opposed to spreading my damage out across, a bunch of people. But anyway, nothing really standing out there, just a lot of damage and wrecks and everything else. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the team score, and as soon as I can actually select it, there we go. 4,400 damage dealt, which is extreme. That's a lot of damage with 4 kills. So it's about 1,100 damage per kill that I did. And on top of it, getting 1,100 experience. So, I mean, it's a very, very good match. I mean, you can see all the way down our line, we did a lot of damage across the board. Just everybody laying into people. The artillery, the 704, the 75, all the way down through our tier 9s and into our tier 7s there. Just everybody pulling their weight, just getting to the right angles for some. Our poor Jagdtiger 88 down there, I think he just was in the wrong position or just didn't have any targets, because I saw him rolling up through the center behind me, but after I had already cleared the center. So by and large, it looks like everybody pretty much did what they needed to. I mean, I did a crap ton of damage, but I just had the right targets and found the right people at the right place, and it was just looking around for new targets because I didn't want to fight stuff headlong against me, or heavies especially, because I would have been sitting there bouncing off them all day and night. I had to choose new targets, move to different areas, and then eventually get around to the sides. So as we look at the detailed report, 20 rounds fired, 18 of them hits, 14 of them actually penetrated. So that's a big chunk of ammunition that I let out there. It's actually a pretty hefty amount of rounds in general for a tier 9. Typically I see, what, maybe 15 rounds fired at most on a tier 9, but hey, I guess the more time you have, the more targets you have. You can keep pulling that trigger all day and night. But didn't really take too much in the way of hits, really only sustaining 5 with 2 of them bouncing, so 3 total going in for, what, 1,300 damage. So nothing too spectacular standing out amongst the rest of it all. Just is what it is. Short and sweet little battle there. Anyway, it's running on 20 some odd minutes here, so I'll go ahead and wrap it up and say thank you guys for tuning into this episode of my Let's Play World of Tanks. I hope you all enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll come up with another topic here for the next one. The trick is coming up with topics. But anyway, I guess I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks all!